God instituted marriage. I believe we all know that. Well, my beloved ones, we're going to discuss a little bit more today about marriage. What is marriage? During courtship, what happens? Two people come together, a man and a woman. In fact, they keep in touch, they put their best feet forward, they meet each other's emotional needs, not necessarily sexual. For those who truly know what it takes, emotional needs, in that you do your best for your partner, he does. During courtship, they put their best feet forward and it flows. On the wedding day, everyone is happy, joyful. In fact, I've heard of certain marriages that began to crack up same day in the evening as the couples get home. I've heard of that. So tragic. But it's not meant to be so. We talked about causes of marital failures, of course, starting from a wrong foundation to external influences and satanic attacks, many reasons. So we're going to face the area of marriage to know what exactly marriage is. So for the single who wants to get married, you should know before you begin to step into it, before you say I do. And for the married one to have a rethink and cross-check, are they really in line with God's word, with what the Lord expects of them? The Lord will bless you. The Lord will greatly magnify you. The Lord will uplift you and heal you. Whatever situation you're facing right now, He will heal you in the name of Jesus. Now, this message came to me. I was writing a book on the mystery of marriage. And the message came at a point when I thought I was done with editing. And the Lord, I will just give it to you just verbatim as I received, and I put it down. He said, people have lost the meaning of marriage, even among some of my children. Draw their attention back to the basics of marriage. It is meant for not just their pleasure, but for my glory. Within this covenant are blessings which they are losing. Go back to the beginning and you will find solace for your spirit, soul, and body. I am coming back very soon and I will judge the immoral. Stay pure and undefiled for me. This was the message from the Lord. Before then, I had a dream where there was this big, beautiful bird, king size, kind of bird, luxurious, with a white sheet on it. And then there were some children romping on top the bed with oil skin, like it looked like stuff like, not palm oil, but, this black nut oil, palm kernel oil. Their body looking so greasy, and they were romping on top the white bed sheet. And then there was another lady who looked like a married person, a mature person rather, lying just there on the bed. To cut a long story short, let me not bore you with all the details. Immediately I woke up, I got that word, Hebrew 13:4, that the marriage bed has been defiled, and by both the single and the married. So, the Lord is really, how do I put it, concerned about this, that we go back to the beginning. And we have seen here that marriage isn't just about us, but it's about Him. He instituted marriage, and there's so much within marriage that people don't know. And then they really trample upon God's grace that's been released unto them and mess up everything. This is one sin, the sin here. He says He will judge, and it's listed in various parts of the gospel. He will judge fornication. He will judge adultery. So we need to sit up and take this serious. And when we talk about that, it isn't just the act. Remember, the Lord in Matthew 5 said that if a man lusts after a woman, he's committed the act. Of course, vice versa. And some may not do the physical act. They are still married, but they are involved in pornography. So they are involved in other sexual acts that defiles the marital bed. So let's be serious. Let's turn away from this and come back to the Lord, who will give us grace to stand for him and live the way he expects us to live. Now, the question is, what is marriage really? What is marriage? We're going to talk a little bit about that. When we say marriage, first and foremost, let's know that it is God who designed, who brought this divine institution to be. It is holy. It is set apart. It is a relationship where a man leaves his parents, literally dies to them, becomes alive to his wife as he's joined to her. The two of them become one flesh, exclusive of all others. And they start their own unit, their own family unit. Their own family unit. So, and we know this union brings together two imperfect people. They are shackled together, so to say, in their strengths and weaknesses. They tell the truth to each other. Sometimes they tell lies to each other. We shouldn't be. They should be open, tell the truth. They will do the best for each other. And when they do this, you see that they become Christ-like as they grow from day to day. In that process, they grow. And their marriage glorifies the Lord. So in the simplest terms, I can say, marriage is an irrevocable relationship. You can't cancel, you can't jump in and jump out like some people do. It is a covenant. It's a relationship between a male and a female. Not two males or two females together. A male and a female. In an exclusive initiation of the union of two souls, union of two lives, union of two friends, two lovers, two destinies fused into one in a committed, lifelong journey. God is the initiator, the witness, the builder, and the sustainer, if you allow him. So it should be. Marriage is what? It is a dying to self and a being alive to Christ. It is a living for each other, mutual submission as co-laborers with Christ. And together they're fulfilling the assignment. In fact, marriage is designed to be a permanent, sacrificial, intimate, and exclusive relationship. It is legal, public, and a sharing of persons and everything else for life. It is a companionship of unconditional love with God walking through with them. It's a place of oneness where sexual and romantic love can be freely and legitimately expressed. This permanence, that's why we should think prayerfully, go through counsel, seek the Lord's face, pray. Do all that it's necessary before you get it, because the ideal is permanence. You don't just jump in and jump out. When the going is good, you stay. When it's tough, you jump out. No, it's not supposed to be so. Of course, I'm not talking about abusive relationship where your life is in danger. That's different. You have to seek for help. Let people know. Then it is sacrificial, because it's not all about you. It's about your partner. It's intimate, where you open up your soul literally to each other. And exclusive. Once you get into this, it's just you and your partner. Nobody else. It's a legal act. It's public. Your family gets to know you. The church gets to know your friends. It's not a secret thing. You share your lives, your properties, your money, your time. You share everything. So it's a companionship of unconditional love, like I said earlier. But, of course, with God leading, with God directing, with God empowering, with God being with you in every ramification. So, the meaning or essence of marriage is for a couple to work together in unity, in fellowship with God, as Adam and Eve did in the Garden of Eden. And what did they do? They were supposed to fulfill their God-given mandate. Of course, we know the enemy came, but for every family, you're supposed to fulfill your family mandate. So when the two of you are coming together, purpose matters. His and hers entwined, the two fulfill what God expects of them as a family when they come together. So marriage is meant to be, like I said earlier, irrevocable in commitment, spiritually, socially, and personally. So it is a till death do you part. So you are not supposed to put asunder. God was involved in the first marriage in the Garden of Eden. And God should be Lord in your relationship. Now, can two individuals, a male and a female, we love each other, we've known each other for the past 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, I know her, and let's come together, nothing about marriage. Is that marriage? That is not marriage. That is living in lovers. And quite some people do that. Have children. There's nothing about marriage. They're just, they're just living together as lovers. And when it's convenient for them to separate, they will separate with ease. No legal anything, no social whatever. They just come in and then jump out when they are ready. So you can't just come in, just set up a home and begin to live together without the Lord being there, without your family, without your church family, people knowing. Of course, basically it's the two of you first and foremost to say yes to each other. But marriage is a process. You have to do it spiritually. You have to do it physically. You have to do it socially. You have to do it legally. It's a process. So just living together doesn't make you a married couple. Now, I want to read Matthew 19:4-6 here, where the Lord was talking about marriage. And he answered and said unto them, he was discussing with the disciples, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man put asunder. So, but when we enter marriage with our own mindset, different mindset, not godly one, of course, we open the door for the enemy to come in, and before you know it, you begin to do what you're not supposed to do in marriage. So, indeed, marriage is a mystery, and it connotes something that is hidden and only made known to an initiate. So, but in Bible terms, it connotes something that had not been previously revealed, but in time has now been made known. So it is open. It's now unraveled. It's been explained. Now, the very first marriage that was instituted was in Eden, and God the Father, after He made Adam, He created Adam. Then He made Eve by separating his side and then forming a woman and bringing her to Him. And He said, "Oh, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh." So your marriage should be the bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh. If you don't get the one that fits you, you're going to be in trouble in that relationship. There's going to be trouble. So a marriage is a covenant. And when you say what's a covenant? A covenant, I can say, employing a layman's term, it's a sovereignly laid down plan initiated by God of how a couple should relate. That's my own definition in simple terms. A sovereignly laid down plan initiated by him of how a couple should relate. For example, he said, how do I say it? A man leaves his father and mother, a man, and cleaves unto his wife. He didn't say wives. Of course, I know there are some Christians who say, oh, after all, in the Old Testament, Abraham had more than one wife, David had more than one wife. We are talking about going back to the beginning, the way God planned it. Just like talking about divorce, the Lord said, well, that wasn't God's plan initially. No, they are supposed to be together in commitment, no division, no separation. So marriage covenant is meant to be followed, and within it,